Good afternoon, and welcome to Everybody, the podcast which shares stories that highlight people in life, that make the world an interesting place, which ultimately ties us all together in unique and wonderful ways. And who am I, you might ask? I would be the head wrap socialite, wife, mom, micro-influencer in the fashion and etiquette world. But on this podcast, I will be introducing you to some people who I've had the opportunity to meet along my journey, who have helped enrich me in my life in beautiful ways, and who I hope will do the same in yours. Today, dear listeners, I introduce you to my friend Enid, a remarkable soul who is compassionate, a woman who is definitely an inspiration to many, an advocate to those within our community who are often underserved. She is a devoted wife, mother of 4, a former psychiatrist, and now CEO of the Center Clinic, which is nestled in Dodge Center, Minnesota. Her involvement in organizations like the Rochester Healthy Community Partnership, Cuida, Mente, and Nueva, Esperanza is a testament to her commitment to elevating the health of the Latino community. I'm excited for today's conversation. Prepare to be moved, inspired, and reminded that the art of healing knows no bounds. So, dear listeners, I would like to introduce you to my friend, Enid, who I affectionately refer to as E. E, thank you for being here on today's episode. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about who you are?
Oh, Trina, what a nice introduction. Very kind. Made me very emotional for your kindness. It's a pleasure for me to sit here talking with you, having this conversation about life. Well, I'm Enid Campos. I am a wife, a mother of 4 boys. I was raised and born in Costa Rica in the rural area. I am the oldest of 3 siblings. My parents, they were a teacher. I was the only child for 3 years and a half. Because my mom, she graduated when I was born as a teacher. My dad he was a teacher. But they went to the remote area for teaching. But very interesting that they were in the village, and my mom was in one village and my dad was in another village. So I had stayed with my mom, and my dad came up every 3 days. My mom was a teacher for the 6th grade, and we live in that school. We have to travel by horse to get to the bigger city, which is Nicoya. Nicoya is now one of the blue zones. I don't know if you hear about it.
Please tell us more.
The blue zones are the 5 regions in the world that the people live longer. And well, Nicoya is one of that in Costa Rica. So we were like living around that area's village for 1 year. And then my mom, she said, well, I can't live anymore here because it's so difficult to get here. But well, she ended up asking my grandpa, who was a musician, but he was a lot of connections with the politicians. So she asked, please, Daddy, help me find another school closer to the city where her family was. So we move again. So I'm telling you that we move different areas in Guanacaste at that time. And then we move again to another bigger city and so on. When I finished my high school, when I was entering to the university, my parents decided to move to the capital. So we start from village and then a little bit bigger, and then we went to the capital. For me to study, I studied medicine there. I met my husband when I was doing the internship. My husband was doing the residency. And then he was applying to come to the United States for training. At that time, we were dating, but I had to do my social service, which I went to another rural area, which wasn't a hospital, but only with maybe 25 beds. And we have to deliver babies. We have to do small surgeries. It's little things, but it was a good practice for us, for the new medical practitioners. once a week, we need to provide a service as a physician to the remote area by horse too. And they don't have clinic. The little room that we have in the school, we examine the patients there. We do the pap smear, simple things for the kids. We check up the kids' blood pressure, etc. But that thing give me the view of different part of the world, even though I was facing poverty since I was growing up. But there, being in charge of the health of that community was a big responsibility. So I would say, I have to do something in my life at some point. When I finished my social service, my husband, he was here, but we were engaged. We got married. He went to Costa Rica because he was doing his training. So we got married there. And the next day, we went for honeymoon for 5 days. And then we came to the United States to live. Yeah.
Wow.
And zero English. I mean, just the colors and say hello, and that's it. And and then the same thing, but the thing I did with my parents when I was growing up, moving different cities. So with my husband, we moved different states. Every child were born in different state.
Wow.
4 of them. The last one was born here in Minnesota.
Wow. As you tell the story, I think about what you shared with us about your life and how everything that we experience kind of prepares us for something else.
Exactly.
You moved so much when you were younger, and it was just something you had to do.
Yeah, no choice. And then I get married, and the same thing.
Wow.
And I think that's why I'm very adaptive for different changes and different things in life. So it's a struggle as everybody. But for my parents, it was very sad for me to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got married that day, the 28th, and then the 29th, I was flying away from them. And they moved with me when they entered into the university. And then I'm the only daughter.
Oh.
Yeah, because I have 2 youngest brothers. Yeah, but this is the only girl. So they were sad, really.
Yeah.
They miss me a lot. At that time, when we moved 28 years ago, 20 years and a half, to communicate by phone was very expensive. And the salary that my husband, as a resident, was very, very low. And yeah, we don't have much money. So it was kind of a very difficult time, but we survived. We survived. Yeah, we made it.
What state did you move to first?
First state was Peoria in Illinois.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He was doing his internship there in internal medicine. Actually, he proposed there because when I was doing my social service, we were dating and I came with my mom to visit him. Of course, my mom has to come with me. She didn't let me to come by myself. So she came with me. We spent like maybe a week there in Peoria, and he proposed. So it was very, very, very romantic. And then 3 months later, we got married, and then I came here. The second state that we moved was Michigan, and Felipe, he was born there after 3 years of marriage. Then we moved to Atlanta, and Federico were born there. When Federico was 8 days old, we moved back to Costa Rica for good, because we have a J1 visa, my husband. So when he was done with his training, he has more choices. Could be applied for another visa, but we don't want to do that. We want to return to our home country. So he was 8 days old. Actually, he went back without passport because it was before 911. So not only with a card saying that he was born in Georgia and we were his parents. And that's, of course, a month later, we took his passport in the embassy.
Right.
So no problem at all. We spent 4 years there. I did my residency in psychiatry.
So when you went back,
I did psychiatry there for 4 years. When I finished my residency, I had an ectopic pregnancy, which was ruptured, and I lost a lot of blood inside on my abdomen, and I was in shock. Thank God I survived that. After that, I decided to take a break of my professionally. So I decided to take care of my two kids at the time. Felipe was 5 and Federico was 4 because it was was the year that I spent doing the residency there. My husband got offered to return to the United States. So we came back.
How did you feel? Okay, so now we're going back to the U.S. Like, what were your initial?
Initially, I was sad. I was really, really sad because I want to serve my community. I want to work there. But because I had that moment of almost die, because it was really, really an emergency. For minutes, I will die. I say, okay, I have another chance to live, to be with my family. So I want to take a break. Let's go back to the United States for 2 years. Let's go just for 2 years and just for them, because they were born here in the United States. They didn't know English at that time. Actually, they went to the German school in Costa Rica, so they don't know any English at that time. So I said, it's an opportunity for us and for them to learn English. Let's go just for 2 years. So we went to Ohio. And I had only 1 child, but I got pregnant with Fernando in Ohio.
That's good.
Yeah, I think it was this indication that I need to. It is for something. Something happened. Yeah. The things happen for a reason. When we were in Ohio, we built a house and we were settled. Say, okay, I like to raise a family, to be with my family. Even though I was studying my own things about medicine, but I prioritize my family. And then my husband got an offer from Mayo Clinic. And I said, no way. No way, because I want to return it to Costa Rica. I don't want to go farther north, more snow, cold. And he got an offer for email. I say, he said, I want to go just to see what it looks like. I know. We already know Rochester at that time because we went to visit before when we were newlyweds.
Okay.
He went. He came here and he called me. I say, I love it. He loved it.
Of course.
And one of my best friends, I was telling her, I said, well, you have to be where your husband is going to be happy. Yes, because you don't want your husband be unhappy wherever he. And he was happy in Ohio. I don't say that he was, but looking or hearing his voice when he came here, he was all over the
whole different level.
Yeah. So I say, okay. So we came here to say, oh my gosh, how Ohio was nice, was 40 million of people, and here was very small. Well, but my mom came with us to see the place. And my mom, she was like, encouraged Rafa, this is a good opportunity for you to grow, to learn, to give the service. She was with him, and she tried to
persuade
just to say yes. Well, we ended up here. Okay, we moved from Ohio again, so this is our 10th move since we got married.
Oh my!
Since we got married, it doesn't count when I was born. Since the time that I've been moving. So when we arrived here, I love it. I like it very much. But Felipe and Federico were driving in the neighborhood. Actually, we live across the street there for the 4 months while we were building this house. And they were biking. And Fernando, he was a year old, and he was looking through them to the window. I said, oh my God. Felipe was 9 and Federico was 8. I said, this is a big difference. I think I have to have another baby. I said, what I say? And then we got pregnant. That was the first child in Minnesota. When he was a year old, I said, oh my gosh, what I did for I did for them, but what about me? Professionally, I was like, I have to do, when he was a year old, I have to do something with my life because they are growing up. That's so what we were talking about. There is going to be growing up. What about me? So one of my friends, she's a very, very It's just in my how would say, in my brain all the time. I remember her because she told me about the center clinic.
Interesting.
So I say, okay, I can volunteer there perfectly. It's 20 miles from here.
Right.
It's not every day, but it's very often. So I can give away something about me to the community.
Correct.
Why not? It's a totally volunteer job. So I decided, I went there. I reconnect because this is the thing I wanted to do, work with the community. So I was so happy. And these populations are very vulnerable, and they come in, the majority from Mexico and South America. So I helped there as a volunteer for 10 years.
What do you find to be some of the biggest challenges that you've experienced with patients who move into Dodge Center? What different things have you done to bridge or ease them into community there as far as health goes?
I can tell more that the things I'm doing right now. We focus in education. We need to educate this community about health, prevent many illness, or deal with the illness that do they have now. And also we do programs like a workshop for teenagers where they can express their emotions through art. This is one of the programs that we have. Also, we implement a community garden. This was an inspiration, but Felipe was doing, one of his postgraduate, he was doing an assignment about interview people in New York who has a community garden, where the impacts, how the impact their life and the community. So he was talking about like maybe 8 months before, and I was preparing the agenda for the board meeting, and I came to my mind, I want to propose them to see if we can do a community garden. Our clinic is so concrete, we don't have any space, and we don't have money because it's a non-profit clinic. So our budget is very short. So I proposed, and the idea was great, and the community garden has been a success because we connect with the community. They feel they belong to something. They are doing physical activities. We're doing mindfulness, yoga. We are talking about nutritious food, how to eat healthy, how important is eat together with the family, talking with the members of the family where they're eating, talking about eating mindfulness. So the programs is a holistic form to see the patient, and then you can learn more from them besides going to in the exam room.
And I think what's interesting is earlier in our conversation, you were talking about how when our children are younger and we plant seeds, I find it interesting how the community garden, you're planting seeds, but you're allowing the people to feel empowered. And you're planting seeds within them now that they're going to be able to pass on to future generations.
Exactly, because it's only all people goes there to the garden. They go with the children. It's like going to the park. They come with a stroller to the community garden because in Touch Center, it's not much things to do. In summer, sometimes the transportation is very difficult for them. The language barrier is difficult, but have a community where they can gathering. Actually, we put like a bench, the friendship bench, which is, it was not my idea, but this in Zimbabwe, this doctor, psychiatry, he did a study that the friendship bench, gathering women to talk about their issues, about menopause, about financial problems, issues with the kids. So they talk about it and they get empowered about that. So I read about this article. I say, well, we're going to do similar in the community garden. So besides the community garden, we have the benchmark. The people get gathering there just to talk. Is with any professional guidance, but having that option to sit there talking about anything, they can release their stress. They can hear somebody what they could do in the same situation that they have. So it's a learning process. There's been with a lot of positive sides having the community garden. And we have another projects in the center clinic. We have a grant coming from the state to provide services for people for kids that they having sexual relationships and they don't want to get pregnant. So we do educate them how to prevent, or if they have STI, sexually transmitted disease, we provide treatment because sometimes they don't know where to go.
Correct.
So we provide that we educate.
I like it because it becomes a safe space,
Yeah.
And it brings the whole community together. They feel like, number one, people have taken an active interest in us. We matter. And not only do we matter, but our children matter. And again, it goes back to the whole educating of a community, because once we are all educated, wonderful things can happen. You feel like you are empowered to be better than you were yesterday, empowering generations who are to come. And that's what it's about. And what I find so inspiring about what you're doing is you've taken your experience that you've had growing up and you've given it freely to a whole nother generation of people, so that they can see the possibilities of what their life can offer.
Exactly.
I just think it's amazing. E.
I feel so grateful to have this opportunity to serve. Of course, it's not only me. Of course, I mean it's a whole group. It's a lot of people working in this program. But that if you listen, some of them have a very tragic history, family history. Yeah. So they're lonely here. They come here for a dream, for getting better, for provide food to the table to their family. So this is a very complicated situation, very complicated. Meanwhile, they have to have support from someone, from some entity. Is the center clinic is a community which Dutch Center is providing them that at least one resource, one little thing in the whole universe is a grain, but just is a little, but doing something, some changes, and in the community, in the whole, in the system actually, because it start from if that community is healthy. The surroundings are healthier too.
Exactly, they can flourish. And I also think too that this world, like you said, they come here with dreams and aspirations, just like all of us have dreams and aspirations. And this world belongs to all of us. It doesn't just belong to just one select group of the population. None of us should be left alone.
Exactly. Is emotionally and physically. They need us. They need the community to support them. Absolutely. They are here, and as myself, I have to give them something. It's small. It's nothing in comparison that I think I can do more. But at least this grain is going to make one change in one life. That's important for me. That's very fulfilled.
I think all of the healthcare professionals and the people within the community, you're providing this community, though, with hope, and that is everything. You have planted a seed of hope, a hope that their life can be better, a hope that their children's life can be better.
Exactly.
And it's like, that's everything. That's huge, because without hope, we just give up and we don't want to try. But if you have that one seed of hope, that makes a big difference.
Exactly.
You have so much knowledge, and just the way that you speak about what you do, you have so much passion for what you do. It's ignited something even in my heart. Like each of us, we could take a little bit, and it may not seem like much, but if we can offer a helping hand to someone in need, just a small part goes a long way.
Yes.
I'd like to ask you a few questions, but mental health has gained more recognition in recent years. And how does your background in psychiatry influence your approach? How do you go about speaking with those within the community and your work at the center clinic?
Mental health is a very important part of the well-being. You have to have health. You have to have balance in mentally, physically, and emotionally. all started with the pandemic when I did a certification community health worker. I was doing that study for 2 years in RCTC. So the center clinic gave me the scholarship to pursue that. When I was doing that and then COVID hit, I say, well, I was at home and I say, I have to do something for the community. But this time I tried to do it to Costa Rica. So I get in touch with one of my friends, she's a psychologist, and they need a workshop to prepare psychologists to respond phone calls when the people have some mental issues. So I did this. It was a very success. And then another organizations invited me to talk about mental health in pandemic. So I did several conferences by Zoom. So that gave me a power. I learned that I was facing that the people was in need for mental health education or how to deal with that. So I implement in Dutch Center that part. As a community health worker, I can coach the person I talk about mindfulness, how to have a gratitude, how to do relaxation techniques, breathing techniques. So that help for stress and to avoid chronic anxiety or depression. So that is a little step that's going to help the community to recognize symptoms about anxiety or depression, and then they can deal with that or recognize that they are really depressed and they can seek for help. That's the way that I implement my knowledge about mental health into the community. So when I see the necessity of that, I realize I need to do also something for my community in Costa Rica. So I decided to go to provide my services as a psychiatrist in Costa Rica because I have the license there.
You still kept the license.
I keep the license in Costa Rica, so I go every 2 months to see patients that are really in need. Because in that area where I go, this is few psychiatrists. I will say only 2 for the big population. So I provide my services. It's small. It's only once every 2 months that I go there, but I see the whole week. I see the whole week patients. And I can follow up them by Zoom. And if they have some issues, I can make a phone call or by Zoom if they have some distress or crisis at the moment. But usually they wait for me. But if it's not a crisis, they can go to the social services, which is the hospital there. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You have provided a communication piece for these patients. You are educating them so that they can also recognize the symptoms within each other. And you've given them empowerment to take
action, about what they are feeling.
Exactly. You know, I just think it goes back to who we are meant to be and who we are called to be in this life. And I was speaking to another guest that I had, and there are a lot of times where we say, you know, we want to do more, but you have taken I want to do more and you've put it into action. Because again, there are a lot of people who can talk about it. I look at you and I'm like, what a gift that you willingly share with other people. And a lot of times, you know, we have those gifts and maybe someone might think, oh, you know, it's too much work. It's too much. But give back because it's your calling.
Yeah, I think my calling is I have to give back a little bit to the population, to the human beings, because why not? It's gonna be so playing life, doing nothing, just stay at home. Mostly my kids are already growing up, half of them, but I can imagine live without doing nothing to the humans. I need to provide, to help in somehow. Just listen. I think I'm a good listener. Sure. And now I'm talking a lot. No, but I just listen to the people. I think this is you make change in that person.
I agree. And as I'm just listening to you, you know, dear listeners, you can see why there are certain people that I gravitate towards. And, you just have such a giving spirit, E, and just sitting here, just to be in your presence, honestly, like makes me want to well up with tears because I feel the compassionate heart in which you have and which you give them. And I know sitting in your presence, it makes their life 100 times better. Like what a gift. And
Thank you for saying that, but it really, I feel that this is a blessing for me to have the opportunity to serve, because I enjoy it. I really taking care of the patients or the person that I talk. I can't call them every day, of course, but at least I think of them every day. They when they talk to me about some situation, I carry on that issues, and I will pray for them. I hopefully that everything's going to be okay. Sometimes I just text, "Are you okay? How is the medications going? How you feel?" I always keep track of them because it feel like I have to. As soon as I hear something is going on for them, I try to help at least listen and guide them. I can't say you have to do this and that. No, I mean just listen to them. Yeah, I feel this is
the Spirit calls and you listen. That's what,
yeah.
the Spirit calls and you listen and you answer. Because there are a lot of times I think we hear the voice within us. I always say it's the Spirit that calls. And a lot of times, we can push that voice down.
Just open your heart and say, okay, today, what purpose could I have for today? What can I do for the human beings today? Just think about that, and you let your heart to move.
Yeah. Positive intention.
Yeah, yes, just one day at a time. Just do something, just a little. Just start with that. Right. I encourage the people do volunteering job, because that give you you feel like you feel happy. Actually, it's a truly happiness. The serotonin levels increase when you do volunteering, and you're giving away something for you, your time, your talent, your whatever you can offer, and you are giving away that, and then you feel satisfied because you are doing something for the community, for communities, and then your self-esteem get better because you say, okay, I did something. That's give you happiness. Because it's your time. You're donated your time. It's nothing like that. Because when you receive salary for that, okay, you have to. But when it's volunteer, it's your passion.
That's it. And I think that's a growing theme that I've come across in the last couple of months is, what is your passion? What calls you? What makes you wake up every single day saying that I can do more? When you listen and you're truthful to that inner voice, it can do nothing but fulfill you, because you're giving a gift, to someone else. Can you share a success story that someone shared with you by being in this program?
I met very incredible person who wants to donate their time volunteering. And it's amazing how the people, I just met a medical student, and he came here like a month ago to study medicine here, and he's from South. And he has the passion to volunteer. He wants to work with the LGBTQ group. And we don't have that much people that are interested in working with that. So I said, okay, perfect. Let's do it together. Let's work. We are a small step, but we are forming some programs to support this group because they don't have much in that area. So we are doing, so in that process, I am meeting different people who are calling from to donate their time, their talents to the community, and many others volunteers that I can name off. I learning from them that their passion is contagious.
And it brings me back to what you had said earlier about your son, who started a community garden where he was, and then you remembered that. So when you were in your meeting and you were talking and you're like, okay, because each of us, we help each other. And all of these different people that you're meeting, somehow the pieces of the puzzle, even if we can't see it at the time, it's all the pieces getting put together in this huge, big puzzle, and it's making a remarkable story.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. If you see from distance, after you put it, that's it. Yeah. But when the process, I can see that, but I just get the idea, and then I've talked with somebody. Actually, the money that because we didn't have budget for that, the money was coming from, UFM Extension, which is a group that helped the community in somehow. They wanted to do a community garden, but they don't have the lot. And I have the lot because I talked with someone who was going to provide the lot, but we don't have the money. So we like a partnering. It's like, oh my God, it's coming from heaven, because they provide the money. They want to do it, but they don't have. So all together. So this is great.
That's
about the bench. It's interesting because I want to do the friendship bench, but the benches are expensive. We don't have money to buy that one. And I want to put like a nice bench. I was looking maybe in the garage sale. And then I was looking for a rock to hold on a board that we were doing for the community. I was looking for a big rock. And then once I went back in the clinic, and it was on the corner was a bench there without foot, 1 foot, only 3 foot, but that's okay. I grabbed it. I said, this is because I was praying for the bench, and I found it around the corner, just in where the old stuff was there. And this is something. That's so amazing. I grabbed it, I put it in my truck, I put it in the garden.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And I always say too, the universe knows your heart. The universe will always come through. I would have loved to see your face that day that you walked around the corner and the bench was there.
I took a picture, say that's it. And actually, because that doesn't have one leg, so I put it to one trunk. I put it there in the so you can. I mean, if you go to our Facebook, you can see the bench and you see the leg. I mean, with a trunk. It's very interesting. It's very fun.
So, did you find the rock?
I found the rock too. Yeah.
Oh, yay!
Yes.
That is fantastic. I would ask you this question: is how do cultural factors influence healthcare decisions within the Latino community? And how do you address those cultural sensitivity in your work?
It's because we share, even though we are different for different countries, but we share the same language, and then some traditions we can share. All my background identify with this community here in Dutch Center. As a psychiatrist, I know some cultural issues that they are facing. I can understand what they are facing.
Thank you for sharing that. The Center Clinic is a prominent part of your career now. So can you tell us more about the clinic's mission and the services it provides within the community?
The Center Clinic is a non-profit clinic, which is started in 2004. Okay. It started, I think, with a small amount of patients, providing family planning and also treat them for STI. The patients grows, and then the family medicine doctor from Mayo Clinic, they start a rotation there to provide primary care. So they volunteering, they donate their time after work hours in the clinic, so they go there. And these people are underserved, they don't have insurance. If some of them have insurance, they have the language barrier, so they prefer seeing somebody that locally can see them, and they don't know where to go. If they don't have insurance, they don't know where to go. So we provide the basic primary care if we can go further, we can make interconsult with the Mayo physicians or any other homestead or any other services. But we accept donations and we implement different programs in the community. We do outreach, do a lot of educations. We have a program that called Healthy Mind, Healthy Bodies. We provide educations to the community, go through Zoom. Education is important, as I mentioned before, for prevent or recognize different entities or different illness. And also we are having a project to open a dental clinic. We are applying for a grant because it's not dental clinic in that area. It's a public health issue too.
For sure.
Yeah, because if you don't have your mouth healthy, you can have a lot of illness or many things coming on after that. This is a big project, and we are thinking maybe at the end of the year we're going to have a big announcement about that. I'm very excited about it. And we have a space at the clinic, and maybe in the back we can open a dental clinic there. But this is a small step. It's on the table, and I'm determined to have that at some point. Yeah.
If we as a community would like to help you in some way, is there a Facebook page or is there?
There is a web page, it's thecenterclinic.org.
Okay.
And also you can look in Facebook, it's the Center Clinic.
Okay.
And you can volunteer in anything you desire because we are open to anything. Yeah, we have as I mentioned, the family medicine doctors, the medical students, now the pharmaceutical program from Mayo. They want to donate their time. So we're growing. Yeah, but at some point we need some more money to expand our services. But yeah, we're doing whatever that we can now. We're full hands, but happy.
Wow, that's awesome.
Happy to provide the services.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, E. And I would say, looking ahead, what are your goals? What are your aspirations for your work in community health?
I would like to have a bigger clinic and to provide more services because we have a clinic night which only see maybe 8 patients, 10 patients that clinic night. I want to have the capacity to provide the services to more people because this is really a small amount. This is only the clinic night, but we accept walk-ins every day. Well, not every day because we open only 3 days a week, but the days that we are open, we are accepting walk-ins. And I want to see the community get together, stay tight, support each other, and have as soon as they are here, they have to feel that they belong to. Yeah. They belong to something, not they are in the air. Feel that they have a support for the surroundings.
Thank you for sharing the intention that you put out today. By you speaking it, I know that this is going to definitely happen because I think when it comes to all of us, we all want to feel we belong to something bigger. And with that being said, I want to know, E, as a mother of 4, how do you find balance in your roles as a parent, a healthcare professional, and a community leader? And what advice do you have for other working mothers?
I think the first thing that you have to do is believe in yourself, love your family, and knowing that when you have that settled, you have that in place, give away something that you can do it, a way that you feel like you can share with the rest of the community. It is hard to find balance, but otherwise you won't be happy, I think, because if you give away something besides your family and yourself, it's a compliment. But you need to find that balance. That balance, you have to take care of your mind, your body, your family, and then the community, because these 3 things is going to mold you and keep you move forward.
And I thank you for sharing that. I just have latched on to that. And sometimes when I'm in these interviews, I close my eyes and it reminds me of something that you have said earlier. And I think about the three things that you just said. And I go back to your childhood of how you first saw this within your parents, of them giving themselves away to their community to bring up the community, to build the community. And you as a young girl seeing this has shaped your life and shaped the trajectory because you didn't know any different. You know, this is who you are. This is who you were destined to be. And it shows in the way that your parents lived their life and have lived their life. And it shows the gift that they have instilled in you. And again, this gift that was instilled in you, even if some of the community has not had that gift, they now have that gift through you. And it's pretty special, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I would like to ask you, is there any question you wished I would have asked you?
If I have some talent.
Yes, I would love to. Darling, let me take a sip of my tea here.
But the sad thing is I don't have any music talent. Thank God you didn't ask that.
But your family makes up for that because your family is very gifted in that.
Yes. So thank goodness you didn't ask me if you have any music talent, because no.
I just want to thank my beautiful friend Enid for being here and sharing her story. It's truly been a privilege and a pleasure to chat with you. Enid's path from Costa Rica to her impactful role as CEO of the Center Clinic in Minnesota is nothing short of amazing. Her and her team provide an exceptional service to the community that is not just within the community, it becomes far-reaching because everybody becomes touched by you and your team's generosity. Enid's very work explores the profound influence of her psychiatric background and the compelling narratives that have shaped her purposeful journey. Her commitment to mental health advocacy is not just commendable, it's a wonderful inspiration. I have a profound appreciation for you and your power of empathy and service in the realm of healthcare. Your enduring dedication reminds me that within each and every one of us lies the potential to make a positive impact in our world and in the lives of others, especially within our community. And I will definitely carry forward the lessons that I've learned from you today. And I think I told you that earlier. There are a lot of things that have resonated deep within my spirit. So, dear listeners, through Enid's story and what she has shared with us today, together, we can all go forward creating a transformative change within our world, in our communities, and beyond. This is fueled by an unwavering belief and hope that, like my friend Enid, we too can be great agents of hope within the world. So thank you, E. I appreciate you and I love you, my friend. And thank you for what you do within our community.
No, thank you. I love you too. And thank you for this opportunity to have this chatting with you and your podcast. And good luck with everything. And you are my hero. Yeah, I admire you. You are an excellent person, wonderful soul. I am so happy to call you my friend. An honor for me to get to know you.
Wow. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
I am glad that God has crossed our paths, and
you are touching many souls with this podcast and with your life. You have a light.